Guelph's December data just dropped and 71 homes expired. That's up 29% from last year. If you're planning to sell this spring, that number matters because it tells you exactly where sellers missed the mark on pricing. Hi, I'm Varsha. I sell real estate in Guelph and the GTA, the Greater Toronto Area. And in the next 8 minutes, here's hoping, I'm breaking down Guelph, Halton Hills, and Waterloo, as well as comparing it to the Greater Toronto Area and what that's doing to all of us. So let's get into this. As always, we need to ground in data, in numbers, because they give us a sense of what the market is doing, at least a snapshot of that moment. And going back to December 2025, closing out 2025, the median sale price in Guelph fell 9% to $685,000. And the average sale price was down 6% to approximately $720,000. Our unit sales were also down, so that means the number of units that were actually sold, and they were down 30% to 71 units. Now, none of this is extremely alarming because with December also comes the natural lull in our real estate market. Cyclically, we're used to seeing things slow down just a tad in December. Here's the number that really sparks my interest, and that's the expireds. The expireds went up 29% to 71 homes that expired in December 2025. And what about that sales to new listing range? Sitting at approximately 65%, and that's textbook balance. A little bit softer than last year, but again, not alarming. So what do these numbers really tell us? It kind of translates to saying, hey, buyers definitely have a lot of choice. There's also less forgiveness for sellers. I'm going to get into that later on in the video and what you could be doing if you're a seller in today's market. Moving on to Waterloo, and side note, I chose these three regions, Waterloo, Halton Hills, and Guelph, because I just happen to be shopping in these neighborhoods for clients, so here we are. If you want something different, you have to let me know. The median price in Waterloo fell 6% to about $670,000, while the average sale price went down about 7% to $716,000. Sales were down 11% to 305 units total, and the expireds were up 10% to 336. Please keep in mind, Waterloo region is so much larger than the city of Guelph. I was not looking at the entire county of Wellington, only the city of Guelph, and this is Waterloo region. So the sales to list price ratio is at 82%, and that's still balanced, and it's actually more active than the city of Guelph. This tells me that Waterloo is actually moving a little bit steady, but buyers are still price sensitive. I think many of us are price sensitive in many regards. Okay, moving on to Halton Hills. And this December, it got a little weird with the numbers. You know, it's always those outliers that skew our numbers and then it makes it seem like we're in a seller's market. Hear me out. The median price for Halton Hills actually came down 4% to about $900,000, while the average went up. It went up 17% to 1.1 million. Okay, sales were also up about 3% to 37 units total, and new listings were actually down 51% to 27 units, to 27 new listings, and they went down. Expireds were also up. 33 expired. Sales to new listings ratio was sitting at 137%. Average is up because a few high-end sales pulled through. They came through that month, but the median's down and the expired listings were up. They exploded. And so there's demand, but clearly the sellers are missing on expectations. Okay, so keep in mind, this is one of my biggest pain points when it comes to market updates or giving you numbers. It's because it is so region specific. It's such a broad net, but it's important to see where these numbers are. And then you come up with a strategy to tackle, you know, a little more micro, right? Some of the neighborhoods that you're really targeting. Get the data points on your neighborhood. That is strategic. All of this needs to come together with a GTA update, and our Toronto Regional Real Estate Board has given us some context with what happened in the Greater Toronto Area. December sales were actually down almost 9%, and the average price was down about 5% to just over $1 million. So if we're looking at the entire year, so all of 2025, overall GTA sales were down 11% to just over 62,000 sales. Of course, all of this is in comparison to the year prior. Average sales price for the entire year was also down 4%, again to just over $1 million, and new listings for the year we're up 10%. When the GTA loosens, it changes the pressure on us in these markets here in Guelph, in Cambridge, in Waterloo, in Halton Hills, in Milton. There's more inventory, there's more negotiation room, and there's less urgency. Okay, so now that we're grounded in numbers, let's talk about what this actually means and who can make some plays in this market. First-time home buyers, your market is here. You have choice right now. You're not making offers the same day it was listed. You're not begging for showings and trying to scramble from work and get into a showing same day. You can negotiate, use conditions, truly compare the property, truly find the value in that community that you want to sink some roots into. And if I were to offer you a strategy, I'd say try and target homes that have been listed for over 30 days, at least as a starting point. Make sure you put in your conditions, okay? Some of the most popular conditions, depending on your property, or of course the use of financing and home inspection conditions. And then negotiate. Have your trusted representative, your representation is there, ready to fight on your behalf to negotiate. So negotiate. Use the days on market. Look at what's been selling. Find the comparables. Find a strategic way to use them in your negotiation. And stop waiting for the perfect moment. Clarity comes from a plan, not perfect timing. That was very wise of me. Let's talk about move-up buyers. Here it is. Here it is. The gap is shrinking for you. You are stuck thinking you'll lose money. Trust me, I know. I have spoken with one too many sellers who are looking to move up, but they are stuck thinking that the current value of their home has gone down, and that just keeps them stuck from making any moves. I want you to remember you are selling and buying in this market, in the same market. You have that gift. You're not chasing a market. So when prices soften, that spread can work for you. Okay, for example, say your home is worth $700,000, okay? Say you're in a townhome and you're looking to offload it and finally break into that freehold, into that detached segment. 5% on a $700,000 home is $35,000. 5% on a $1.1 million home is $55,000. Those are the amounts that you can actually negotiate when you're looking to move up. You're gaining. Okay, when you're actually gaining that $20,000 in the spread. So if you're looking to offload and move on, price to sell, not to test the market. This is not the market where you list and you say, hey, if I don't see any traction in the first 2 weeks, I'll lower my price. No, especially if you've already purchased on the condition of sale of your property. Price it to offload it and move on with your life. Inventory is higher, so if you're going shopping, make sure you're patient. Remember your deal breaker list. Shop with confidence, but keep that list in the back of your mind and be open to the possibility that your deal breaker list may actually change the more homes you go into. I've seen it time and time again. Having a little bit of flexibility when you're home shopping goes a long way. And keep thinking about that spread. Okay, the difference between you offloading your $700K property versus buying a $1.1 million and what they're going to lose, and compare that to what you might be losing, that spread is in your favor. And finally, one of my most favorite segments, we see a lot of this in Guelph. There are many open houses that I've hosted. I have met so many people looking to relocate to Guelph. So let's talk about GTA relocators. Please, if you're looking to relocate into Guelph or beyond into Waterloo, you don't need to panic buy. So come, take a breather and drive along that 401. Stop, get a beautiful coffee. We have many coffee shops here. The market rewards calm decisions right now. But you need to be clear. Decide your non-negotiables. Okay, so I'm talking schools. If you have kids, what is your lifestyle like? Is walkability important to you? Is commuting a big factor for you? Do you need to be close to transit? And let numbers give you some confidence. But please know, Guelph is made of micro markets, and if you have a home that you love and it checks off about 70% of your list, and you really want to go for it and they're seeing some traction, you're going to need to get serious real soon. So keep some of those fundamentals in your deal breaker list, okay? I'm talking layout, the number of bedrooms, location. Keep those foundations, okay, those fundamentals top of mind when you're shopping. So you're also considering your future resale value in that moment. Okay, sellers, I said I'd talk to you, and here it is. The worst thing, believe it or not, is not selling a little bit lower. The worst thing is actually listing, sitting, expiring, and then relisting with a side of stigma. Guelph had 71 properties expire in December. Buyers, they notice. They notice price reductions, stale listings, mediocre photos, and half-done updates. Sellers, get on board with at least these 3 things. Price where it will sell. Okay, please remember your price is a marketing tool. So knowing the true market value of your property is important. So price where your property is going to sell, not where you hope, and definitely not where your neighbor sold in 2021. Have it be bright, have it be welcoming. Make sure there's a flow when you come in the home. If possible, and I say if possible because I'll tell you, not all sellers are open to staging, and that's okay. There are still ways to use your own furniture to make the room look a little bit brighter, have the flow be a little more seamless, and do it well. And market your home properly. Marketing is beyond just putting it on the MLS. There needs to be a social strategy that goes along with it. There needs to be an email strategy that goes along with it. There needs to be a networking. There needs to be print marketing even. There needs to be video tours. If you're serious about selling, then act like it and invest in all of these marketing channels. Or at least work with representation that does. Balanced market require emotional maturity. In fact, Treb said it directly this last month. People don't buy just because rates move. Buy when they feel safe to commit. Consumer confidence drives the market, not just rate cuts alone. So while there's so many nuances to December, cyclically speaking, it also is a month that brings to light the truth. There's no spring frenzy. There's just people who are serious, and there's sellers who are priced right, and it's finding that sort of meeting, that middle ground where you're priced right and a buyer's willing to pay, and there you have magic. If you're in the Guelph or Halton Hills or Waterloo area and you're trying to figure out, should I list or wait? What is my home even worth? How do I buy without overpaying? I'm offering 3 15-minute clarity calls, and this is strictly based on strategy for your specific needs. This is not a one-size-fits-all situation. Real estate just can't be. So the link is below in the comments. So first come, first serve. And I'm curious, could you drop a comment, please? Are you buying, selling, or just watching? So if this helped you in any way, would you hit subscribe? I do these every month with real data, no hype. So I'll see you in the next video.